What's up, guys? We are doing a quick Monday episode, updating you with what's going on here at How Not to Highline. I am in Idaho visiting my family, so we're doing it right here, and all you get to see is my ugly mug. So let's just kind of go down the list I have. The drop tower is, like you saw in last Monday's video, 50% of it is 100% done. But Larry texted me and said that he is working on the top part, which we are going to rent a crane and put that on as soon as I get back. Probably going to try to paint it and do everything I want to it before we stick it way up in the sky. I haven't worked on the load cells because they're back at the lab, but the LineScale3, we have, I believe, them shipping from China today and heading to Germany, and then Andrew Riedrich or Line Grip Incorporated, where they come from, will be shipping out shortly. So then once we have the LineScale3s, then we can do some really cool episodes. I plan on getting, I'm only going to get 2 of the 7. I already kind of sold off what the initial ones I promised. People have been waiting a long time. But when the second batch comes in November, which you can still get the early bird discount for $6.99, I believe those will be shipping out in November. And when I get that second batch, we're even going to do some cool stuff. I'm going to be shipping out some LineScale3s that I'm going to be buying, some more of them, and shipping them out to people who are going to do some how not to videos. And like how not to do circus stuff, how not to do arborist things, and see kind of what the live forces are of people doing their sports or their activities, and seeing what kind of forces silkists would get on their rigs, and show people how to like incorporate it into their systems. They would do the first half of the episodes, and then they would send me back the LineScale3 and some gear to test that was relevant for that video. And so I actually have a variety of content on this channel because of that concept. The LineScale3 is faster, and it fast enough to do like drop tests, and then logging the data matched up to the way a phone, when you record it with your phone, the timestamp on the phone, you can line it up with that chart later. You can really like learn a lot. So the LineScale2s, they're really hard to use compared to what the LineScale3s are going to be. So they're also waterproof, so we can do like how not to canyon stuff without me being stressed. We do have a how not to canyon coming out soon, but I'll be putting a link down in the description below for the LineScale3s. Disclaimer, or not a disclaimer, I'm not associated financially with LineScale3. I invested in 7 units. I sold 5 of my 7 units. I'm going to get my $2,000 per unit back when the rest of them sell. So yes, when they all sell, I will get my money back. But I don't get anything right now for promoting them. I needed a LineScale3 to make this channel better. I needed all of you guys to buy some so we can make a 1,000 unit batch. I couldn't support that by myself. So I helped come up with the crowdfunding method and kept working with him during the development process. So it was very, very customized through my lens on what I wanted in a load cell. I think it's way better than the Rock Exotic Enforcer. The Rock Exotic Enforcer is a little sensitive when you're banging it around. It only goes to 20 kilonewtons. LineScale3 is almost 2.5 times faster. There's a lot of stuff going for it. It's waterproof-ish. Rock Exotic is not. So anyways, I'm really excited about what we can do on this channel and what other people are going to learn from the LineScale3s. Moving on, that's enough about that. So the last 6 months, I've been talking to Aboud, who lives in Jordan, about some glue and bolts he's making. He has been working really hard at making really nice bolts. He is trying to make bolts because it's kind of expensive to have quality glue and bolts shipped from, in his case would be Europe, even though there are some providers that can probably provide them for they can be up to $10 a piece. So if he can make them for $1 or $2 a piece, it's been worth it to him to do that. He does have some questions though, and would love to talk to a metallurgist. Metallurgy? Not quite sure. If you are a metal expert, he would love to hit you up. I'm going to put his email in the description below if you want to hit him up and offer your help. He is trying to do a quality job, so do not email him and give him shit. Or I'm going to give you shit next time I make a video. Be nice, people. Hopefully for the drop tower, I'll be getting either a perfect descent or a true blue in order to have some access points on both sides and to keep us safe conveniently. I also had an email from Kong today that they offered to possibly send us some gear to test. So if you guys are super interested in seeing some equipment that Kong makes out of Italy, hit me up so we know to make a video about the things you want to see the most of. They clearly have a lot of equipment on there that I just saw, and so I want to see what kind of stuff you guys want to see. A quick budget update. I just spent the last 3 days working on my budget and How Not to Highline's budget. And basically, I have about, from donations, about a $10,000-ish surplus, which I still have to pay for the drop tower. So that actually works out really good. We've pretty much got load sales covered. Pretty much everything we've spent up to this point has been covered. And we have about $10,000 reserved to pay Larry for the drop tower. Not quite sure. It's a moving target because it's such a weird job to know exactly how much it's going to cost at the end. But that's about what we got. It might cost 15, not quite sure. So we're right in there on donations. So it looks like the way they come in pretty regularly, that we'll, at the end of the year, have paid for everything we've done all year. So that makes me feel great. I really appreciate you guys. It makes me feel like I can just keep moving forward and not stress out about the money. Super big thank yous to anybody who donates through PayPal, Cash App, or Zelle, because they're kind of a pain to send thank you notes. Venmo, I can just pop it off on my phone real quick. And I see all the Patreons that come in. Super big thank you to everybody. I read everybody's messages. I currently have, I think, 91 emails not responded to yet. But I love you guys. Hapa Design has got some embroider machine coming soon. He's got this hat he just sent to me. We've got the kilonewton shirt that I wore for cave video we just made. So we got some more designs coming. However, we're trying to get some less slackline centric, more climbing related or other shirts that aren't just like, if you're not a slackliner, things you would want to wear. So we want to get some Stoke swag out there for you. If you guys are artists and you want to help come up with some art that you think people would want to see, I don't really make money at this point on shirts and swag. I kind of just do it because I feel like you're supposed to if you make YouTube videos. Maybe if we had really cool designs and they were flying off the shelf, maybe it would help support this channel. Right now, it doesn't really. It's just kind of fun to have some slackline swag. But if we want to actually get like 50 really awesome designs that people would really want to wear and have it more, I'd say centered more around climbers. There's a lot more climbers that watch this. Or generic ones that people would wear even if they don't do the extreme sports they see on this channel. So if you have art designs that you are willing to either share or partner up with us, hit me up and I will connect you with Hapa Designs and we will figure out if they sell. They are print to order, so there's no mass amounts of shirts that we have to print in order to risk them being sold or not. So it works out really good. Some not so great news is Bobby got evacuated from the camp that he lives at for the fires that are happening. And he's just having a rough year. He fell off a mountain and now his house burnt down. Just found out his car did not. And he does have, I think, some gear in his car. But, yeah, a lot of people have had their house burnt down and lost a lot of things. And it's kind of a really hard thing to, like, recover from emotionally. I mean, stuff can be bought again, but it's just, it would be really, really sad if, like, where I live got burnt down and I lost all the stuff I've got. So, reach out to him. Say something nice, sweet, leave a comment. I don't know. We're just telling you, like, that's where he's at. Not looking for anything specific right now, but it's going to be relevant in future videos. So I figured might as well keep you updated. But he's been a really great help for 2.5 years. I do have a surprise for him that he watches these videos too, of course. He doesn't know about yet. So I'm kind of excited to give him that as maybe a new starting point, considering he just lost everything. So I'll hopefully be seeing him within the month, and maybe I can give him that. Surprise, Bobby. And we'll end with some sneak peeks on videos that are coming. I have over 30 videos in queue of things that are half edited, fully edited, or not edited at all. And we are talking to a handful of people who do cool stuff. So we have a How Not to Skydive video that could come out this Wednesday. We have the How Not to Canyon with Brent Roth. We have How Not to Sail. Possibly we're collaborating with David Liebenberg. And we're going to maybe go to San Francisco, where sometimes he's at, see the things that sailors use, and then he might come to the lab and we might break stuff together. And that'd be super cool because a lot of stuff comes from the sailing community. And a lot of stuff in the slackline community came from sailing. Oh, and here's a sneak peek since the desk is covered with these 4mm soft shackles. Soft shackles came from the sailing community. So it's pretty neat to see the roots of where this stuff comes from, where their lives or gear really, really matters, how much force some things are seen, and maybe we can even stick some LineScale3s on a sailboat. That'd be rad. So we have those collaborations coming, but I do have some options for this Wednesday. Maybe you guys can leave some comments below on what you guys want to see, and I'll read them all Tuesday night, see which one I should post on Wednesday. But we have micro nuts, brassies, tested in real rock. We have that episode coming out. And we tested 13 different knots, 39 knots tests total, edited super tight. That thing's been in the works for like 6 months. It's a pretty good video. And then how not to skydive. So put in the comment below what you want to see this Wednesday, and whatever I read the most of, that'll be Wednesday's video. Even though these Monday videos are kind of like pretty boring and just me talking, but I really enjoy staying connected with you guys in real time and filming them pretty much the day of, instead of having stuff that's either 6 months old or 3 weeks old or whatever. So it's nice to stay connected with you guys. You guys add a lot of value to my life. I complain about the emails I have, but I do value all 91 of them. And I just want to leave you with this thought from my nephew.
Super good enough.